Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It's almost like we write songs that we just want to play live. Hopefully they sound good live, in your living room or your bedroom or your bathroom, wherever you are. We're not judging.
Well, I can tell you right now, the chat definitely is enjoying it. So you guys have nothing to worry about on the front of how it sounds, and that's because you write great songs and you play them even better. So even greater, yeah.
And we know there's a whole lot of folks who have supported us through this journey, and we're really grateful for them too. So family, friends, and everyone.
Amazing. Yeah, love that.
Thank y'all.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Of course. No, thank you guys. This is absolutely incredible. For those of you just tuning in, we are live in studio for our 7th episode. Can you believe it? Time really flies when you're having fun. With E.R.I.E from Albany. I am your host, Christian Ivanko, and we are just thrilled to have you here. But I'm not your only host. I would like to welcome to the show right now. He's been here the whole time, but let's bring him in front of the camera. My co-producer, partner in crime, Patrick W. Huber. How you doing back there, Pat?
Hey, doing pretty good, actually. This is a great evening, great music, and having nothing but fun.
Yeah, and of course, while we're shouting people out, of course, one last time, we have to just, shed some light here on the amazing crew that's been helping us bring this show to you guys. We have Tyler Ruvo, we have Thomas Paisano, Kira Stack, and Eric Greenup.
Thank you all for everything.
Yeah.
It's been so much fun.
You're lovely to hang out with too, guys.
Yes. You have the hard jobs today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It is a volunteer production, and we're just so thankful that not only do they volunteer their time, but their talents, their creative input, it really helps bring this show together. So we want to thank them again, and thank you all for watching at home. But, while Pat's on the chat here, Pat, he does his research. If there's one thing I know about him, he is a man of preparing and preparation. And I know he's been dying to ask you guys some questions.
We respect that big time.
Well, I will say this, before I get to the questions, I want to shout out Command Tab, because that's how I'm able to do everything here tonight on my laptop. But anyway, it strikes me, we've heard it in the in the first interview. I saw it in one of the music videos. You guys seem to be a product of the 90s, and are all in and say that there's nothing wrong with the 90s. So I was wondering if you still stand by those terms.
Yes.
I will say there were plenty of things wrong with the 90s.
But I stand by them.
Yeah.
All right, Dad.
Just saying.
Great time for music. Great time for entertainment.
I think we didn't realize what we had. You know what I mean? And that's just the case for anything, though. I'm sure someone somewhere is going to look back and be like, "Man, the 2020s were a great time." It won't be me, but somebody.
Certainly will not be me.
Somebody, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, man, because I don't think anybody goes back and like, you know what? The 1920s were super cool. I mean, some people probably do, but then...
I mean, they were pretty roaring.
I know.
No. After all the bad stuff, then it was roaring. And let's not get too deep into this.
Fine,
Patrick has a lot of questions, I'm sure, that
Sorry.
don't involve
And there
dissertations.
are certain algorithms we'd like to avoid here on our band show. So with that said,
Yeah, well, Great Depression is actually on my list. It's kind of strange.
That's what we call the inspiration
Nailed
for the
it.
next album, The Great Depression.
Right.
oh wow. Yeah, no, Pat's right though. I mean, the music video is very nostalgic, but it's a fun one, and it seems like you guys have quite a few music videos out there on the old interwebs. If you go to that Mint 400 page, at least what I've seen. What's the as filmmakers, we're obviously curious and kind of a little nosy because they look and sound so great. Like, what's the process? How do you script them? How do you get those videos off the ground? We'd love to know.
Right. Bad Man's World.
DIY mentality.
Yeah, we had like a rough idea, but honestly, a lot of that stuff came to fruition that day.
Yep.
We kind of work in the same way that we work in recording, where it's like we have a rough idea and then we're just like, let's just figure it out.
Let's throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, like who has the most ridiculous clothes? Turns out it was Chad. What can we do?
And then the video I think you're referencing with the 90s thing was Fears Come Running, which we filmed a couple years ago. That was like mid-pandemic, and we were like, we want to do something, but we got to be kind of, there can't be like a big crew and stuff like that. So my daughter, who was 13 at the time, filmed everything. She was just going nuts kind of around the garage while we were performing looking like idiots, and she's just filming everything. And then we did like a funny little Macarena dance at the end, I think it was. That feels like forever ago. Wow,
Shout out to Jordan Stewart, our founding bass player, who
Yes.
did all of the editing on that and is a fantastic gentleman.
Right,
He did the hard work on that. We showed up and had fun. Addie filmed, and Jordan did all the hard work.
And he hasn't lost any hair from it.
Bastard.
I know.
That is phenomenal. One of my favorite bands is a ska punk band called Ballyhoo, and they have a song called Gas Station Burrito about all of the
you
amazing
should.
foods you eat at tour, eat on tour when, the only places open at 4 a.m. are gas stations. And they completely filmed the video themselves, and it has just a fun, like, lively energy, one that I do get from the Fierce Come Running video. So
That's awesome.
I think
it's so much easier nowadays to just like you can put up videos so easily that as long as you have like content out there. I don't want to say it doesn't matter what it looks like, but like
Kind of doesn't matter.
We were
I think
afforded.
it does matter what it looks like for sure,
Yeah.
but I think what matters most, and I'm sure Pat can speak to this, is if the genuine nature of the passion comes across. I feel like that's what having these little phones in our pockets has done. We capture so many authentic moments that now people can kind of sniff out when it's a little too posed or staged.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think.
that's
It's fair.
That's very true.
I don't know. It really also helps that you have a log cabin to hang out in and just easily jump on screen. I don't know if the band has saw the set that I'm in, but yeah, it's pretty vibey over here.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Our,
you're
I
tuning
can
in
see
from
it
up
from
in
here. Yeah,
Woodstock.
Tyler, our one of our camera ops tonight, he was like, it'd be nice if Pat was sitting by a log fire, and I think it is nice. You look cozy, Pat. For the
Yeah.
first time on set, you don't look stressed. You actually look like you're enjoying it, man. And I'm telling you, that's rubbing off on me right now. So
I think he's in the scene from 2 songs from now is what I think he's in.
Spoiler.
Teaser, not spoiler. You got to
Sorry.
lead, man.
Teaser.
Lead.
well, guys. Pat, go ahead.
Yeah,
No, I was
Patrick,
gonna
what
say-
else do you got for us, man?
No, I was going to say that was a great tease. Before we move on from the music video thing, I got to get my question in. I really just saw that a couple of your music videos are all about media. They're all about like there's an infomercial about selling soup. There's a bunch of old-fashioned scratches and VHS and all that stuff. So what's the inspiration? Are you just constantly saying that broadcasting is a little bit of a warp to our brains? What's going on there?
I don't know if we got that far into it. We the infomercial thing. We definitely what would be it's Bad Man's World. It's about people not being great and what's some characters we could play of people that are currently not great people. So a salesman selling all sorts of random stuff.
A
right?
particular salesman
sure.
who is tied to things that we don't want in the logarithm.
Grindel.
Yeah, Spike Grindel. That's right. That's his name.
Tech bros and chauvinists and
We just
slimy politicians.
just
all
thought
sorts
it'd
of
be
stuff.
funny,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a literal. Bad Man's World is a very literal
Yeah.
interpretation, and it's a very literal song name. We're not trying to be coy at all in that song.
And then My Rusted Armor, our label Mint 400 Records, our label head said, "Hey, we were on a mini tour." He's like, "Do you guys want to make a video?" So
You guys want to make a video in my basement?
Yeah.
Shout out Neil Sabatino. Thank
seriously,
you.
I mean,
Big
that's
time
what
Neil
we did,
fan.
and he put together this wonderful footage that he had, and it looked cool, right?
Yeah, and it was done in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And now that I'm sitting here, now that Patrick has said that, I'm realizing, yeah, we did like that kind of sort of old school vintage
Yeah, yeah.
effect in 3 consecutive videos. We got to really,
They should follow us on the socials because I think we have another video that we're going to release here at some point too, right?
yeah,
A live one.
That
Oh,
doesn't
yes.
have any sort of filters on it that make it look like it's from.
Not even a
true.
little.
The
No,
90s
it's
or the
very
80s.
modern,
Yeah.
but you got to follow us on the socials to find
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll certainly direct them to your socials, and it's a band called E.R.I.E on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok.
Tiki-Taki.
Yeah, follow them. It's a good time. They are posting great content all the time. I mean, I'm sure you've become a fan if you've been watching tonight, and apparently a lot of you are. So thank you again. That does mean a lot. We'll show you the behind-the-scenes footage on our YouTube channel throughout the course of the month. I am rocking
Nice.
out back here. This is such a treat for me. I love when I have bands that I like come into the studio, and 7 times now that's been the case.
Nice.
But this album, guys, I mean, it is absolutely just an album I keep coming back to. I'm so impressed. The more I learn about you guys, your commitment to your craft and how you've crafted the record, I'm just absolutely blown away. But there is something I do want to ask you guys about. I feel like in this new music industry, it's single, and then the TikTok videos that coincide, and the content almost becomes more important than the record. And it's really nice to see a band putting out proper albums. So Was there a thought process there? Was this deliberate to say, hey, we want to put out an album? We already have one. Let's put out a second LP. I know you did singles, but it really listens in a complete whole, like most of my favorite artists produce, from top to bottom. Every song is just so intricately woven from track 1 to 2 to the end. Can you talk to me about that? It's definitely going against the grain. You're not, quote unquote, like playing the content game, but you guys still seem to pump out a lot of stuff. So
I'm very stubborn, and I am very hesitant to change my music consumption process. And so this whole like putting out 6 singles and then releasing a 7-song album thing just kind of really messes with my head, and I just don't get it. But so I'm like kind of like that album. Like I like albums. I like being able to tell that story from start to finish, like you're talking about. So I think it was actually really hard for us this time to be like, yeah, we're gonna release like 4 singles over the course of like 10 months leading up to this record, and like why? But you got to do it. You got to play the game to an extent, right? And so it's nice to talk to people like yourself who really still appreciate and still consume albums, because I'm guilty of it too. It's very hard to put something on a streaming service when you have access to literally everything and keep it on the entire time, because your brains are just so like, oh, it's shiny over here, right? And it's just it's weird nowadays. But yeah, I'm trailing off because I kind of lost my train of thought
well,
here.
I'm curious, like as filmmakers, we are innately storytellers, and I mean, I like we spoke loosely about the theme, the thread throughout the album. How did that all sort of come together, and how did you tie LP1 to LP2, right? Fears Come Running. Now we have Can't Stop Running. Can you let us into that world a little bit? Because you're clearly creating like a sonic universe, and most of my favorite bands do that, and that's something I'm just very much a fan of.
TJ just likes 3-word songs.
That's it. I really hate cardio. Yeah, man. I mean, the first record was very much me. It was a way to kind of process some existential things I had going on. I had some physical health issues. I had some mental health issues, and I kind of wrote a record. And then I found this amazing band, and we kind of turned those songs on their head. And then going into this record, I didn't want to write the same songs again, talk about the same stuff. And while there's a little bit of that, it was more like, we're kind of to Matt's point, we're living in a very mayhem-induced society right now, and seeing it through a 30-something-year-old lens rather than a teenage lens is a completely different thing. So we just wanted to talk about the things that are kind of on everybody's minds, but not in a way that's right in your face. Like, we want to let people know, like, hey, yeah, this stuff's going on, but let's all have a good time. And yeah.
I think I'm kind of drawing, my hosting inspiration here from my most recent Easter, hangout with the family, where my uncle, I don't know if he was being funny or coy or whatnot, but he just kept saying, oh, we don't have the youngest people here, but the middle-aged guy and me can go upstairs and grab the turkey and bring it downstairs. And I was like, who's he talking about? And I was like, hang on. You're talking to me? You're talking to me right now. But like we're not as young as we once were, and making peace with that is something everyone has to do. It's I'm certainly still young, but like I won't be 20 in a few short months. Anymore in a few short months, and I don't know. Your album's kind of helping me like process that. To be honest with you.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's kind of one of the goals always. You want people to relate to what you're writing, and you're exactly right? You're not.
If we're going to be honest, it's helping us deal with it too. So.
Yep. Only way we know how.
By oddly enough, going out and talking about it and playing songs and playing shows till super late at night, and
then having to go to work the next day.
Basically, so yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, for sure.
It's full circle.
We do have a few questions, though, and we always like to give the chat a voice here on our band show.
Hey, Christian, before you move on to the chat, I realized my mic was muted. I wanted to chime in and just say I made a joke with a couple of my students that I was going to play My Rusted Armor to a therapist and just say, hey, dissect me.
Don't put us on the spot like that. They're going to come find us and tell our therapists, and then it's going to be a real bad thing.
Yeah, Pat, you might be older than me, but you do have more hair. Anyways, Slip Groove wants to know, guys, what guitars are you playing? They think you sound absolutely amazing.
Sick. Thank you, guys. We're excited to check you guys out. I'll go first. I was playing a semi-hollow Telecaster that I switched the pickups out. There's some P90s in there. I'm getting real into the weeds there. And this is a It's actually a Squire Jazzmaster, and I'm playing it because I actually bought this off someone on Reverb, and it was in pristine condition. And when it showed up at my door, there was a crack that came down the back of it that must have gotten damaged in shipping, and I was really bummed. But the lovely folks at Reverb took care of everyone, and long story short, I ended up with a free guitar, and I love it. So it's like a nice color, and it reminds me of wanting to be in Blink-182 when I was 13. So
Squire's come a long way.
Yeah.
truth.
Once they sold that factory, Squire became the,
And Matt has some good guitars as well.
This is a Fender JA90. It's the Jim Adkins signature model. I'm a homer for Jimmy Eat World, and I think actually all of us are, and we're not even shy about it. But I love this thing. It was a gift, and I can't put it down. And you'll see in 2 songs, I have a Reverend, which is an awesome company out of Toledo, Ohio. And that is a trick shot, buckshot. I can never remember which one is which. It's a Telecaster T-style, right? Let's not get anybody in trouble. It's a T-style guitar, and the band wishes I played it more.
Yes, big time. This is a Nash JB63. It's their version of a Fender Jazz 63 with some super awesome Aguilar pickups, and I played this thing at the guitar store near us for about 4 months before I had enough money to buy it, and I love it. It's my favorite.
Love it. Hashtag gear talk. Guys,
Right.
we want to put that gear to action here in a few seconds. But before we do that, we just want to thank everyone in the chat once again. The show is far from over. We have a bunch more songs planned for you this evening. So please stick around. Continue to enjoy. Maybe make a second bag of popcorn and fill up that Diet Pepsi, because we have a ton more music, so don't go anywhere. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video with a friend. It would greatly help the show, and it will allow us to keep bringing you great local bands like E.R.I.E. And with that said, E.R.I.E., where can they find you guys and keep up to date with everything? Check out the new album, Suburban Mayhem.
Yeah, we're on we're on all the major streaming services. A band called E.R.I.E.bandcamp.com. We really love Bandcamp. They're very supportive of artists. They pay well enough,
They do everything they can within their power to
Right,
be a
exactly.
profitable company and still take care of their
Trying to,
artists.
how do I not make this sound like anyway? And then just follow us on the socials. We're playing out as much as we can. We are doing some traveling this summer, and wherever you are, we hope to see you at a show someday. So
Connecticut, Syracuse, Rochester, Massachusetts, New York
Jersey,
City, New Jersey,
Philadelphia.
Philly. We got stuff coming up.
Yeah.
If you're in those areas, come see us.
Wow.
Say hi.
We're
Wow.
busy.
We're busy.
We really are.
Oh my God! All right.
Wow. For guys who don't
Sorry,
like
families.
cardio, you guys are all over.
Oh, we're just sitting on our ass in a truck, driving for hours, crashing at an Airbnb somewhere.
Listen, my only fear right now is this show coming to an end, but I do not have to worry about that. We have a whole other set prepared for you. So, gentlemen, can you take it away with your next song here, Fears Come Running?
Yeah, we're going to take those fears and we're going to bring them right to you.